Good evening, family. How you doing? Welcome to the Underrated Sports Show with my co-host and brother, Chief Stay Sleep TV. We're gonna get this announcement out the way. Hold on, family. Hold on. Started. Um, First and foremost, thanks for coming out tonight, family. Again, welcome. Also, um, go talk about some good tonight. But first and foremost, support my brother's channel. She Stays Sleep. Also, support my channel, The Underrated Darkness. Very much appreciated. Um, Anything you want to know more about me, my Facebook page is Jerry Thomas, yours truly. Also, I have a Facebook group, capitals JTNVP, Thinking for Ourselves. Also, I have a Twitter account, also in caps, at JT Blackman 44. Again, at JT Blackman 44. Also, I have a Instagram, same name as Underrated Darkness, but in small caps. Check that out. Also, get this out the way. Oh, fam, get this out the way. Okay. Make sure you hit the bell when I come for a powerful live stream or video. Also, let's get them likes and the views up on my past live streams and videos. Share those. Also, share this too throughout social media. Right? Um, on my channel, I do boxing. I gotta do boxing. People say I'm gonna do boxing. I'll definitely do boxing soon. I do music. I have my fellowship dinner every Sunday. Most likely, I'm trying to get it 7 o'clock, early evening. It's great. We sit at the table, talk, and have conversation. It was great last night. Want you to check those out. Also, She Stays Sleep did two powerful live streams yesterday. Want y'all to check those out too. And then on the way, here we go. What's going on? She Stays Sleep.
Peace, peace. Shout out to everybody in the chat room.
Yeah,
Salute to everybody that's tuning in tonight. Very much appreciated.
very much appreciate it. We're gonna wait for some more people to come in and everything. Um, but I want to say something, brother, before we continue. You know, Houston's talking about that the last game Melo played. It might be the last game Melo played in Houston. Did you hear that?
Nah, I ain't hear
Yeah.
about that. What happened?
Yeah, but well, I don't know what it is, but it seems like they're trying to get him out, but the Houston front office said that was not true. But I found out quite a few people were saying that, and I know Steven Jackson is defending Carmelo and stuff. It's a lot, yeah. That talk is really going on for almost a week and a half now, and this is early in the they told this early in the season and stuff. So We don't, who knows? We probably chime into that after we like chime into that. I gotta pull it up after I finish. What do we all do? All this do this story. This is a story, family. First black player ever, Moses Fleetwood Walker. We're gonna wait for some more people to come in. We know how YouTube is and everything. Yeah, yeah, bro. That was going on for that was going for last week and a half. They were talking about it. It was like some people were saying that Melo started, he was producing, and then after that, the coach take him out, had him come off the bench. They said one time he had 28 points, and then he get him off, and then he probably just had like maybe 10, 11 points. It's like inconsistent.
Yeah.
So something is going on in Houston. Something is going on in Houston. I don't want y'all to think that we forgot about NBA and everything. We're gonna stop. We're gonna start really getting into the games. We're just waiting. Just really getting deeper. So watch out for that. Um, I see how you doing. Waiting for some more people to come in so we can get this going. And the Lakers had they got Tyson Chandler too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got Tyson Chandler. Yup. Mm-hmm. Soon as Phoenix gave him his buyout money and put him on waivers, yeah. They got him. They snatched him up. Yeah. PK Boxing MMA. Finally, I see you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Poetic Kells, the Queen. Thanks for coming. Oh, it's filling up now. Yeah, we're gonna wait for some more people to call in. We're gonna read about this. Gonna read about this. Need some more people to come in. Let's get them lights up, family. Thank you. Let's get them lights up. Oh, the Bills beat the Jets. Yeah, I don't really care. I don't watch football anyway. I really don't. Craig J, what's going on? Thanks for coming. LDBC. Shout out to LDBC. Shout out to the LDBC. Thanks for coming. Wait for some more people to go. Wait for some more people to get in. Fill it up and everything. And also, family panel discussion too. After I read about the show, panel discussion. So after I let y'all finish the story. If y'all want to get on the panel, drop your email in the chat. Give me some time to copy it down. Then I plug you in, get you in the panel. All right. So participate. Wait for some more people to get in so we can get this going. With a few more people. Yeah, support. PK Boxing. I gotta tell you this because I let you know. I gotta take the comment off because we don't use that word no more. We use support back, or I got you. It's support back, or I got you. Okay, so I had to take this off because YouTube is messing up. All right, brother. So just you got him. So just you next put support. So I gotta erase this. I gotta remove that. All right. You support, brother. You support. All right. Thanks for coming. All right. Thank you. Yeah. From now on, there's no more word of SUB. It's support back, or I got you. From now on. All right. Thank you. Because YouTube is going crazy, PK. It really is. And I don't want nobody to get penalized. Definitely, I don't want y'all to get penalized or nothing. That's out of everybody protection. So thanks a lot, PK. I know you didn't know, but it's all right. So from now on, you can pass that out too, PK, because that's been going on, and everybody else in the chat, because it's been going on for a while. Wait for at least about 2-3 more minutes. Then we're gonna read about the story again. After I read, hold on, family, hold on, family, hold on. Something I need to do first. Wait 2-3 more minutes, then we're gonna read about the We're gonna read about the story. I'm glad everybody has showed up. Very much appreciated. Glad everybody has showed up. Very much appreciated. Well, you know what? I guess we're gonna get it going. Get it going. Again, thanks for everybody coming out and everything. And after that, like I said before, good evening, Annette B. Thanks for coming. Let's get them lights up. Very much appreciated. And after that, I read the story like I said again. If you want to get on the panel, let me know. Put your email in the chat. I'll copy it down. I'll get you on. All right. Here we go. We're reading about, see the title. First black player. Moses Fleetwood Morris. I'm sorry. Moses Fleetwood Walker. Right? Here it goes. Moses Fleetwood Walker. October 7th, 1856. Passed away May 11th, 1924. Was an American professional baseball catcher who who is credited of being one of the first black men to play in major leagues, a native of Mount Pleasant, Ohio, and a star athlete at Auburn College as well as University of Michigan. Walker played for semi-professional and minor league baseball clubs before joining Toledo Blue Stockings in the American Association for the 1884 season. Thought research by Society of American Baseball Research indicates William Edward White was the first African American baseball player in the major leagues. Walker, unlikely white who passed as a white man, was open about his black heritage and often faced racial bigotry so prevalent in the late 19th century United States. His brother Welding became the second black athlete to do so later in the same year, but also for the Toledo Ball Club. Walker played just one season, 42 games total for Toledo before injured derailed his release. Walker played in the minor leagues until 1889 and was the last African American to participate in the major league level before Jackie Robinson broke the baseball color line in 1947. Let me read that again. Walker played in the minor leagues until 1889 and was the last African American to participate on the major league level before Jackie Robinson broke the baseball color line in 1947. And I know y'all didn't hear that, but you hear it right then, right now. Goes to show how some people want to hide the true history. After his baseball career, he became a successful businessman and inventor. As an advocate of black nationalism, Walker also joined edit a newspaper, The Equator, with his brother. He published a book, Our Home Colony, published in 1948, to explore ideas about immigrate back to Africa. He died in 1924 at the age of 67. Moses Fleetwood Walker was born 1856 in Mount Pleasant, a working class town, eastern Ohio, has served in the sanctuary for runaway slaves since 1850. Its population includes a larger Quaker community and its unique collective of former Virginian slaves. Walker parents, Moses W. Walker and Caroline O'Hara, were both mulattoes. According to Walker biography David W. Zing, his father came to Ohio from Pennsylvania, likely a beneficiary of Quaker pioneers, and married O'Hara, who was a native to the state, on June 11, 1843. When Walker was 3 years old, the family moved 20 miles northeast of Steubenville, where Moses W. became one of the first black physicians of Ohio and later a minister of the Methodist Episcopal Church. There, Walker, fifth of six siblings, his youngest brother, Weldley, was born the same year. Walker and Weldley attended Steubenville High School in early 1870s, just as the community passed legislation for racial integration. As an adult, Walker enrolled at Auburn College in 1878. He majored in philosophy and the arts. At Oberlin, Walker proved himself to be an excellent student, especially in the mechanic and theory. But by his sophomore year, he was rarely attending classes. How Walker first came to play baseball is uncertain, according to Zane. The game was popular among Steubenville children, and while Oberlin preparatory program, Walker became the prep team catcher and leadoff hitter. Alberton men played baseball as early as 1865, including a jet black first baseman whose present Mean Walker was not college first baseball player with organized clubs that engaged in intense matchups. Walker gained stardom mention in the school's newspaper, the Oberlin Review, for his ball handling and ability to hit long home runs. Impressive. In 1881, Auburn lifted the bans off campus competition. Walker, joined by Welly, who enrolled in the class of 1885, played on the baseball club's first integrated collegiate team. By urban pitcher Holland Burkett account, Walker performed in a seasonal final, persuaded the University of Michigan to recruit him to their own program. Accompanying him was Walker's pregnant girlfriend, Arbella Taylor, who he married a year later. Michigan Baseball Club had been weakened behind the plate. The team had gone as far as to hire a semi-professional catcher to fill the void. With Walker, team performed well, finished with a 10-3 record in 1882, and mostly hit second in the lineup. Is credited with a 308 batting average. You don't hear that in NCAA, huh, family? During his time in Michigan, Walker was paid by the White Sewing Machine Company of Cleveland to play their semi-professional ball club in August 1881. Walker's presence was controversial when the team arrived for the game in Louisville, Kentucky, the first place to have a major issue with his race. As the team arrived in the early morning of the game, Walker was turned away from the St. Cloud Hotel. More issues arose during game time. Members of the Louisville Eclipse protest Walker participation. Cleveland relentlessly held him out of the lineup. After one inning, his substitution claimed his hands were too badly bruised to continue, and Walker hesitantly walked on to the field for warm-ups. Louisville again protested and refused to play until Cleveland third baseman volunteered to go behind the plate. Baseball career. In mid-1883, Walker left his studies at Michigan, was signed to his first professional baseball contract by William Volz, manager of the minor league Toledo Blue Stockings, a Northwestern League team. As a former sports writer for the Cleveland Plain Dealer, Volz watched Walker play for Oberlin. His signing recruit Walker with his former battery mate Burkett. Through Walker, his decent numbers recording a 251 batting average, he became revered for his play behind the plate and his durability through an era where catchers wore little of no protective equipment. That is very true of that time. The blue stocking ball boy recalled Walker occasionally wore ordinary lambskin gloves with the finger slit and slightly padded in the palm. More often he caught barehanded. Impressive. Nonetheless, he played in 60 of Toledo's 84 games during their championship season. At the core of team success, one sports writer at Sporting Life pointed out, were Walker and pitcher Hank O'Day, which he considered one of the most remarkable batteries in the country. Wow. Walker's interest into professional baseball caused immediate friction in the league. Before he had an opportunity to appear in a game, the executive committee of the Northeastern League debated a motion proposed by representative of the Prior, Illinois club that would prohibit all colored ball players from entering the league. After intense arguments, the motion was dropped, allowing Walker to play. On August 10th, 1883, in an exhibition against Chicago White Stockings, Chicago manager Cap Austin refused to play if Walker was in the lineup. In response, Charlie Morton, who replaced Vogt as Toledo manager at midseason, challenged Ison autonomy by not warning him at the risk of forfeiting gate receipts, but also by starting Walker at right field. Anson also alleged to have said, we played this here game, but won't play never no more with that N-word. I said nigga in. The White Sox won an extra inning 7-6. The Blue Stockings' successful season in Northeastern League prompted the team to transfer to American Association, a major league organization. In 1884, Walker first appeared in the major league. Ballplay was away game against Louisville Eclipse on May 1st, 1884. He went hitless in 3 at-bats and committed 4 errors and 5-1 loss. Throughout the 1884 season, Walker regularly caught for ace pitcher Tony Moline, who described the rookie ball player as the best catcher I ever worked with. Purposely threw pitches while not singing to cross up the catcher. Walker year was plagued with injuries, limiting him to just 42 games. Hold on. Excuse me, family. Limited him to just 42 games in a 104-game season. For the season, he had 263 batting average, which was top 3 in the league, but Toledo finished 8th in the pennant race. The team was also troubled by numerous injuries. Circumstances led by Walker's brother Wesley joined the Blue Stockings for 6 games in outfield. Toledo team under financial pressure season ending worked with relieve themselves of their expense contract, not yet fully recovered from a rib injury sustained in July. Walker was released by the Blue Stockings on September 22nd, 1884. During offseason, Walker took a position as a mail clerk, but returned to baseball in 1885. Playing in the Western League for 18 games for second half in 1885, he joined the baseball club in Waterbury for 10 games. Where the season ended, Walker reunited with Welly in Cleveland to assume the perpetuation of the LeGrand House and Opera Theater Hotel. According to Zane, Walker could afford the business venture after commanding a $2,000 contract as a major leaguer. Though he could no longer negotiate such a salary, his skills were still highly attractive to teams. Walker returned to Waterbury in 1886, where the team joined more competitive Eastern League. Despite a lackluster season for Waterbury, Walker was offered a position with the defending champions Newark Little Giants, an international league team. Together pitcher George Stovey. Walker formed half of the first Afro-American battery in organized baseball, built as a Spanish battery by fans. Stover recorded 35 wins in the season, while Walker posted career highs in games played, fielding percentage, and batting average. Walker followed Newark manager Charlie Hackett to the Syracuse Stars in 1888. Although he slumped into the play during his 2 years playing with the Stars, he was so he was popular among Syracuse fans, so much that Walker was the un, unofficial spokesman and established business ties in the city. In August 23rd, 1889, Walker was released from the team. He was the last African American player in the International League until Jackie Robinson. Later years, Walker stayed at Syracuse after the Stars released him and returned to a position at the Postal Service. Around that time, a former Syracuse University professor, Dr. Joey Garber Justin, has been experimenting on firing artillery shells and gunpowder rather than compressed air. Culinary in his failing invention, the Justin gun. Fascinating, Walker designed and patented a outer casing in 1891 that remedied Justin's failure. The first of his four patent inventions, Walker invested in the design of hopes there would be a great demand, but the shells never garnered enough interest. On April 9th, 1891, Walker was involved in an altercation outside a saloon with a group of four white men chanting racial insults. Members of the group, including bricklayer Patrick Curley Murray, approaching Walker and reportedly threw a stone at his head, dazed him. Walker responded by fatally stabbing Murray with a pocket knife. A complaint, Walker surrendered to police claiming self-defense, but was charged with second-degree murder, lower from first-degree murder. We already know that. Okay. On June 3rd, 1891, Walker was found not guilty by all-white jury. Let me read that again. On June 3rd, 1891, Walker was found not guilty by an all-white jury, much to the delight of speculators in the court. He returned to Steubenville to again work for the Postal Service, handing letters for the Cleveland and Pittsburgh Railroad. On June 12th, 1895, Walker's wife Annabella died of cancer at the age 32. That's young, 32 years old. He remarried three years later to Edna Mason, another former Oberlin student. The same year, Walker was found guilty of mail robbery, was sentenced to 1 year in prison, which he served in the Miami County and Jefferson County jail. After his release during the turn of the century, Walker joined owners of the Union Joint. Hold me read again. Walker jointly owned the Union Hotel in Steubenville with Wedley and managed the Opera House, a movie theater nearby Cadiz. As a host to opera, live drama, vaudeville, and minstrel shows at the Opera House, Walker became a respected businessman and patent inventions that improved film reels. Nickelodeons was popularized. In 1902, the brothers explored ideas of black nationalism as editors for the Equator. Thought no copies exist today as evidence. Walker expanded upon his works about race theory in the Equator by publishing the book Our Home Colony. I read it before 1908. Regarded as most learned book a professional athlete ever wrote. Our Home Colony shares Walker's thesis on the visualization of the black race and proposal for African Americans to migrate back to Africa. Edna died on May 16, 1920, widow again. Walker sold the Opera House and managed a Temple Theater in Cleveland with Welly. On May 1924, Walker died of lobar pneumonia at 67 years of age. His body was buried at the Union Cemetery in Beetle Park next to his first wife. Although Jackie Robinson was commonly miscredited with being the first African American player to play Major League, Walker held the honor among baseball aficionados for decades. In 2007, research P. Morris discovered another ball player, former slave William Edward White, actually played a single game for the Providence Grays 5 years before Walker debuted for the Blue Stockings. Despite these findings, baseball stalkers still credit Walker for being the first in the major leagues and play openly as black man. On the subject of White, John F. Hirschman wrote, he played baseball and lived his life as a white man. If White, who also of white blood, he said he was white and he was not challenged. He was white in his time of circumstances. Like Robinson, however, Walker endured trials with racism in the major leagues and was thumbed the first black man to do so. So there it is. Welcome, Queen Who I Am, Flaws, Profession. Thanks for coming. Nikki, how you doing? Do something for you. I don't know what happened. Here you go. Um, so brother, what you think about the story?
I think it's a very interesting story because I thought like Queen Who I Am thought, she put it in the chat room. I thought Jackie Robinson was the first black player
Oh, no, no.
that played in the major leagues, but you know, it's always about them telling their you know, that's why they call it history. They always telling his story.
Yeah.
They don't never properly tell our story. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an interesting story, man. And he died so young. That shit is crazy too.
Yeah, and they go at that time. He was one of the best players in the back in the days. Without none. And also, you can go into that if you want. Sonny, I'll send you a link. You want to get on. Anybody that want to get on the panel, let me know. I send you in. And
Well, you know, I didn't I don't think he'll be I didn't think he'll be when I first saw you put the show up there, I don't think he would have been anything short of legendary at the end of the day.
mhm.
You know, because most of our people that go down in history, we don't go down in history. You know, nobody pretty much goes down in history for being mediocre.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, so it just bugs me out that he died so young, man. That's crazy, man.
That really is crazy.
Like he died at 32. I'm 32 currently.
Oh, he died 67.
Oh, 67. Okay.
That's
Well,
still young though.
that's still really, really young.
That's
Real,
still
real, real, real young, man.
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, man, like I said, and I noticed too he didn't go to the Negro leagues.
No, not at
I
all.
noticed he went straight to the majors. That's interesting too.
Yeah, and also he played on the championship team too.
Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't Jackie Robinson go to the Negro League before he went to the majors?
Yeah, he did, and then plus he was a four. I think he was a four. He was a four sports star at UCLA too. Before he went to the minor league. He went when Jackie Robinson went to the minor leagues. He went to the team in Montreal. That was the Dodgers farm team back then.
Right. I had brought that up though because most of the black players back then who was in the majors, they came. A lot of them came from the Negro League, and I
Right.
noticed that this dude he didn't come from the Negro League, so
Nah.
that's that shows that he was exceptional too,
Yeah, he
to a
was.
certain degree, for them to just grab him up like that.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, and so at that time, anybody that know baseball, when you play a catcher, you need pattern and stuff. At that time, he wasn't getting no pass. So basically, when he was catching the ball, he was catching a really barehanded people. And understand the conditions back then, especially for us as a people. And that was impressive right then and there, you know.
Yeah, they always have us working under the roughest work conditions. You know,
Yeah.
they never give us the proper equipment. They always, they just pretty much throw us to the wolves, and we just pretty much got to figure that shit out.
Right.
That's always happened. I remember I did a presentation on the Black History Month series of this year, 2018, and I talked about the Harlem Hell fighters,
Mm-hmm.
and they talked about how these dudes was in war with bullshit weapons, and they weapons was so bullshit how they actually used knives to actually, you know, get out of a certain part where they were stuck at in the war,
Uh-huh.
because they didn't have the proper protection gear, and they had bullshit guns, and they were still able to make it out of there. So that just show you, man, how resilient um black men are.
Mm-hmm.
We're very resilient. We always take we make crumbs and we make loaves of bread, man. We make dollars out of 15 cents.
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, we take the worst conditions, and we try our best to make it paradise for ourselves. We've been
Mm-hmm.
doing this forever, man.
Yeah. And
You know,
also,
and this is just another example of a black man doing that.
right. Mm-hmm.
And it shows too many times throughout history
Mm-hmm.
that no matter what type of conditions you put us in, a black man gonna find a way to make it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And you know what? This is a short story. I got another story. A first black professional player. Know his name is Chuck Lloyd. Let me read a little about him. We're gonna talk about it. This is Earl Lloyd. They pull him up. Oh, I gotta check out something. Okay, this is Earl Francis Lloyd. April 3rd, 1928, passed away February 26, 2015, was an American professional basketball player. He was the first black player to have played in the game of NBA, National Basketball Association, family. Okay? Read about the early life. I'm just going to skip through it. So Earl Lloyd was born in Alexandria, Virginia, April 3rd, 1928. His parents were Theodore Lloyd Sr. and Daisy Lloyd. His father worked in the coal industry, and his mother was. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do. We're gonna do some. I'll probably do some, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna tell. Um, in high school, he played Parker Gray. College, he played Virginia State, West Virginia State from 1946 to 1950. That's 4 years. NBA draft 1950. Understand the NBA started in 1946. So NBA draft 1950, he draft round nine, picked. He was 100 picked, selected by the Washington Capitals, playing career 1950-1960. Small forward. His numbers he wore 11, 8, and 17. Career history as a player from 1950 to 51, Washington Capitals, 1952 to 1958, Syracuse Nationals, 1958 to 1960, Detroit Pistons. So that means he was, I think he part of the first team Detroit Pistons back then. Because if I'm not mistaken, they used to be the St. Wayne, something like that. As a coach, check it out. As a coach, he was 71, 72. He was a head coach. Career highlights: NBA champion 1955. It has to be with the Syracuse Nationals. CIAA Player of the Decade in the 1940s. That means he was the best player in college in the 1940s. Family then. Career was 4,682 rebounds, 3,609 assists, 810. Let me read again in those times. I'm talking about in those times, family. Points 4,682. You average 8.4. Rebounds 3,609. That's 6.4 average. Assists 810. That's 1.4 assists. Lloyd led West Virginia State to two CIAA conference and tournament championships in 1948, 1949. He was named All-Conference 3 times, 1948, 1950. All-American twice, as named by Pittsburgh Carrier. 1949, 1950, as a senior, he averaged 14 points and 8 rebounds per game, while leading West Virginia State to a second-place finish in the CIAA Conference Tournament Championship in 1947 through 1948. West Virginia State was the only undefeated team in the United States. They read again. In 1947 through 1948, West Virginia State was the only undefeated team in the United States. Lloyd and his wife, Clarita, had 3 sons and 4 grandchildren. Lloyd resides in Fairfield, Glad, Tennessee, just outside Crossville until his death in February 2015. All right. Think about that, bro.
It's interesting, man. Never cease to amaze me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, when we do these types of shows, it always shocked me about because there's a lot of people that I don't know about. There's a lot of people who a lot of people don't know about, but it doesn't shock me, man, that our people is who we are,
Mhm.
and this is a classic reason why we have to stop treating each other a certain way. Because
Mhm.
we come from greatness,
Mhm.
and we need to start acting like it. And when I say acting like it, I mean acting like it as far as how we communicate with each other. Because see, now people think acting a certain way is how white people told us we should act. And it's not about that. If we act the way we act, we can act the way we act. It's just about how we treat each other,
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to push the white and black thing. It's just that everybody is socialized by the American way. The whole world is socialized like that.
Mhm.
So what they call civilized is civilized when we in the most barbaric country in the world.
Mhm.
The people who run this shit done orchestrate done orchestrated millions and millions of murders. They done sold millions and millions of drugs and everything.
Mhm.
And they also act very uncivilized. You know, they act like barbarians.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to start. We need to start. Like brother Rob always say, man, if we understand our history, we can get back our culture because culture teaches you how to act. And we've lost our culture because we've lost our history. So if we really pay attention to our greatness instead of paying attention to our L's that we took, if we focus on our wins, because we got more wins than losses.
Mhm.
If we focus on our wins and focus on our strengths and build off of that, we'll be in a better predicament. We need to start respecting each other on a whole nother level because what we come from.
Mhm.
Every time we talking about a historical sports figure, it's somebody of greatness. It's a first to do this, a first to do that.
Mhm.
There's always a first. Whenever you hear first of something, it's always a black person.
Mhm.
When it comes to the one of the greatest sports figures, one of the greatest actors, you know, black people damn near invented everything in society that we use. Some of the greatest inventors were black.
Mhm.
So we have to start making our understanding, man, into culture.
Mhm.
If we really understand our history, we need to start acting different and start treating each other better, man, because it's crazy how all these people done contributed to us and contributed to the world. And we just act like these were just people of the past.
Mhm.
No, these were people of greatness. So we need to act like that. We need to act like we come from something.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, we need to begin to act like we come from greatness because the other people in society, they model themselves after the people who they consider great.
Mhm.
And they consider killers and serial killers and all that shit great. They consider motherfuckers like George Bush great.
Mhm.
They model their behavior after that. They consider the Ku Klux Klan great. And they model themselves after this. You got little kids growing up that idolized
Mhm.
Adolf Hitler.
Mhm.
They idolized killers because that's part of their greatness from their people. And they idolize themselves after this.
Yeah.
This is why when you hear these people who shooting up schools and um just doing crazy, heinous shit in society, they always find these books that these kids were studying. And it's the history of their people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we need to do the same thing. We need to use our history and model ourselves after these people. Whoever we consider great, we need to model ourselves after our greatness. Because every other culture of people, they do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And they have statues of these people and they worship these people and they act like they basically try to um recreate what that person has created, but just take it to a next level. And we need to do the same thing, man. It's no excuse, man. It's too much great history about our people out here for us to still, you know, to be on some BS, man. It's too much of great history about our people for us to still be having conversations about what we didn't do in society. When it's too much goddamn proof of what we done. So stop questioning about what black men and women have done to contribute to society, because we did every goddamn thing.
Yeah.
We did it all.
Mm-hmm.
We made these people billionaires. We did that. We made the NFL and the whole institution of sports as rich as they are today. We did that. Not them. We did it. They did it all for our backs. You know, some of the things that we use on a daily basis, like a goddamn refrigerator, like electricity, like trains, like buses, the traffic light. We created all of this. We civilized society. So why we keep acting like we ain't do nothing? Why we get on YouTube and act like and actually have panels with people talking about what black men and women didn't do in society? That's bullshit, man. And we got to stop that. We got to grow up, man, and have real conversations. Because people act like we ain't do nothing. And we did every goddamn thing. And let me shut up, man.
No, you at the show, you keep on going. Kurt Anderson, welcome, brother.
Hey, what's going on? I want to say what's up to Poetic. She spoke to me in the chat, and I was getting on the live stream. So what's going on, Poetic?
I'm good. We read about the brother Moses Fleetwood
Walker.
Walker. Yeah. So do you know anything about him?
I know a little bit about him. He's
Go
from
ahead.
the outside Cleveland, Ohio area. I think he played for Toledo for a little while. I don't know too much. I used to hear his name years ago. I should have did my research. You know, just going by what Sheep was saying, man, that our people are great. You know, in the midst of a racial inequality and getting massacred and lynched, beaten, stabbed, and shot and hung. Well, hung and lynched is the same thing. You know, albeit music or eventers, you got to remember something. You know, blacks are great survivors. They're very resilient people. You know, Jim Crow laws and Reconstruction, things was always against us, the system. You know, and blacks became wealthy during the sharecropper days. You know, then they had these laws in 1861 and 1863 where they flew in non-blacks, and blacks here was training them, and then they took over the sharecropping. So every time we have some momentum, you know, the system or the people in America, they take it away from us. You know, from Black Wall Street, you know, you know, Harlem. You know, right now you see gentrification. But, you know, getting back to Mr. Walker, he was a baseball player outside of Cleveland, Ohio. I believe he played for I think it's Toledo Blue Hens, something like that. I can be wrong, but I know it's Toledo. He was a career average 263 hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Good baseball player. But in them days, black baseball, people forget baseball was #1 in the community. Uh, um, Jackie Roosevelt Robinson, and he wasn't nearly the best player. He had the best attitude. You had Cool Papa Bell,
Right.
Satchel Paige, and Josh Gibson, who hit
Mm-hmm.
like over 900 home runs. And Jackie was middle of the pack talent wise, but he died at the age of 53 because of all the stress he endured. But he wasn't nearly the best player. And I think before Mr. Walker, there was a player before him. I
Yeah.
forget his name. I saw his name, but we have a very unique and vast history in this country, sports and pop culture, especially music. And anytime we do something, we're copied. You know, anytime we do something, it seems like we dominate and we become the man, whatever it is. And you have people trying to knock us down. They make up laws to stop our momentum. It's not a coincidence that every time we get a leader, they kill them off because they want us to be disenfranchised. They want us to be discombobulated, but little they know that we are very resilient people. That's our strength, you know. And I'm very proud of my people. But some people disagree with what I'm about to say. With all the ills in the community, we should have been segregated. Because when you look at the Jews, they marry their own, they party with their own, they hobnob with their own, they worship with their own, they do everything, they keep everything in house. And we used to be like that because we was afraid people after slavery. We had to do it on our own. And look what the things we was doing. We was doing very well, man. And people forget that. We was making do for little we had. And then it went up when we had Black Wall Street. We had a community that had hospitals and supermarkets and banks. That's a community. Today we have neighborhoods because a community consists of banks and supermarkets, your own. We had that before. We don't have it now because Martin Luther King is a beautiful human being, but he miscalculated the hate that white America had for Black America. He wanted us to sing and campfires and we all get along, but that wasn't the reality. Later on, towards the end, he started becoming more radical. And that's when he got murdered
Yeah.
because he had a lot of power.
Yeah.
And, I know we talk about baseball, but I was just driven to talk about this.
No. This part of sports. Keep it moving.
Right. And everything ties into baseball, just sports what we go through as a people and continue to go through. They took our music. People say Chuck Berry invented rock and roll. It was a sister by the name of Rosetta Sharp. She used to have a raincoat on with a guitar. She invented rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
Rosetta Sharp.
And you know what? A lot of people, I gotta say this. She's the first woman that ever played the guitar. Period. Well, she's one of the first women that write her songs and copyright it. That also write for others. She's one of the first women. Now I'm talking about women. Period. That infused gospel, blues into R&B and the music that you're in right now. Am I right, brother?
You're right. You're right. It was her and Big Mama Thornton.
Big Mama Thornton, that's right.
She wrote Ain't No Like a Hound Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And Elvis Presley took it and made millions off it. And she didn't get nothing.
Nothing.
So that right there, that's the story of our people. We invent, they take. We make it, they take it. And we allow them to take it. And this has been our history. We're very unique. We have, athletic. We have in general, not only athletic, but they don't want us to get to a certain point in life. It's usually music and athletic, entertainment and sports. They don't want us to have our own businesses.
Right.
Other races come in and they're giving grants and they come right in our neighborhoods. See, immigrants wasn't messing with America because before the 60s, the civil rights movement, America was a hotbed. America wasn't playing that. They wasn't letting nobody in or you would have filled the raft. So, on that Edmund Pettus Bridge, we was getting beaten and the world saw it. That changed everything. And in Mississippi and Alabama, people was getting murdered like every day. And we fought for that. And civil rights movement became a human rights movement. And after the laws, that's when immigrants start coming in. And, people that have the same skin tone, they're ish on you too. I don't like the curse, so I'll say ish. They're ish on you too. So it just seems like it's Black American versus everybody else. It just seems like that. So I respect the Jewish mother. I'm just all over the place because I got a lot to say. And I'm going to tell you why I respect the Jewish mother. A Jewish mother would sit her kids down at an early age. I live amongst Jews before in Brooklyn. And the Jewish mother would say, "You are a dirty kike, Jaime. The world hates you because you are a dirty Jew." And from the early on, they're programmed as a Jew to stay amongst their own. And see, there's a lot of reasons why they succeed. But this is one, when you're hated, you don't hobnob with everybody. You stay within your own. And people underestimate that segregation will be better off because nobody likes us anyway. And we always marching and crying. I'm tired of that. You have to take a more radical approach. So, in the 90s, there was a guy named David Dukes who he had a map and he wanted to give blacks the South. And deep down inside, I knew he was right. I knew it because what the integration get us? It's a psychological thing that's on us now. We always want to cape for other people, instead of caping for our own. You got Black people fight for immigration rights. You compete with them when they come over. I can't even go to a restaurant in my neighborhood and get my order right when I order food because they don't understand what I'm saying. Plus, they hate you, and you go in the establishment, they treat you like you garbage. They'll take your dollar, though. So we're in competition. Where I live at, it's a melting pot. It's people on top of people. I'm just spitting facts. This is what I see. I go by what I see. I love my people. I love my people. And under the circumstances, we have done very well. Now, we have 26.4 people in poverty compared to 9.9% of whites. And I'm telling you, segregation will fix a lot of those problems. We have Black banks that you don't know about. Anything that's good, they're not going to tell us because they want you to feel like you're a failure or you curse. But like I said earlier, the midst of, we always been in a recession or depression, whatever, we're very resilient people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, I sit and I think about how can we get out this rut? But one thing that's disturbing is the psychological issue now with us. And it's going to take us a while to get out of it because you'll have somebody cooning that be like, who's this brother talking? He wrong. Then we all supposed to get along. See, it's that mentality. Being a pacifist, we have to be more radical. I was just looking at the news today, and the classroom full of boys, they was doing a Nazi salute. I don't know if y'all saw that. They was taking a school picture. It was an all-male picture, and everybody had their hand up in a salute. These are trying times. America is about race and capitalism. That's what America is about. From Birth of a Nation, a film about the Ku Klux Klan that got a standing ovation in the White House. D.W. Griffin movie. You know, a sister got stabbed and beaten in Brooklyn by a white guy coming off the subway. You know, so I just had to say what I had to say. You know, because I think about my people, their well being every day, and it's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. That's what America all about. America always been this. You know, like I said, we was talking about baseball, but I had to take it there. It was just on my mind.
I
Go
understand.
ahead, underrated.
No, it's good to know like that way. Welcome, Sonny. Sonny Boxing Talk.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2, brother.
Indeed, man. My apologies for my tardiness. I had a call, and shout outs to the chat. Shout outs to the panel. Um, never heard of that you. Uh, I never heard of the guy who we're talking today. Um, I learned that he is the first so-called black baseball player,
Mm-hmm.
and I began to watch videos on him, and I the thing I noticed was the struggle that he had to go to, that he had to go through. Like when he would play, the opposite teams will be upset because he's on the field, and they'd be like, "Yo, if he's on the field, we're not playing." And a lot of times, the games had to be forfeited. So like when a team that he was on, they would go to travel and spend the money with travel, hotel fees, all those things to go to a game and not play because of the hue of his skin. Like he'll get up there and they'll be like, "Well, I heard they said that they won't play unless he is not on the they'll let him he can play, but he can't be on the roster, or if he play, we're not even gonna play." And then like a couple of times when teams, teams on the opposite end of the team will walk off the field. You know what I mean? Causing the game to be, canceled. Because you got to have a certain number of players. So he endured. It said that a lot of times when he would run and slide for base or whatever, he would get up wet because of being spat on. You know what I mean? So that man had a tough go at it. I always that's something. You know what I mean? Like he was the first one to motivate all the other ones. You know what I mean? Jackie Robinson is the one who actually was allowed to play. Like he finished what the other brother started. I forgot the brother's name. Please correct me.
Which one you think?
The one we talking about.
Oh,
For
Moses Fleetwood Walker.
Yes, indeed. He was the start. And the other brother, he finished his work. But I just thought it was, I try to picture myself like what would I do, being spat on and called all types of names. There was one particular time I was reading listening to where they didn't want him to play, but the crowd noticed that he had some skills, and the crowd was like kind of cheering him on, which was kind of odd because the crowd was racist too. And then when they brought him on, there was like a applause. So there was some actually out there in the crowd
who may be not who may have not been as racist. So I guess it was whatever state that they went to or whatever. But that brother had some real struggles, man, and he ended his career not really having a win, because he ended up going to the minor leagues, and he ended up passing. But he was a brother to pass off the torch to someone else. But I'm glad we had this discussion on him because it's good to give our ancestors that paved the way for us honors. So I passed it back on that.
Well, peace to my brothers, Sonny and Kurt. I appreciate y'all for joining us, and I just want to piggyback off what Kurt was saying as far as um the fact that we thought separation was bad. I mean, it shows all the time, and even right now, we're talking about a person who was before the person that we're taught about when it comes to baseball history. You see, they never talk about this guy. We growing up, I thought Jackie Robinson was the guy, and that's because that's what we were taught. You see, and that comes from the fact that, see, when you lose the concept of your history when you integrate, see, that's why the Jews are successful at what they do, because they decided to separate and to stay separated. And that's the best thing ever. That's what we should do. I feel like we would be much more successful if we was to do that, because at the end of the day, that's how we keep our history and our culture intact. Everybody else do that. And that's how they keep their history and their culture intact. And by us integrating, this is why our history is messed up. Because now they can tell a story about our own history. And it's not the truth. And we're going to always see that it won't be the truth. Because they're telling their story. They're not telling ours. Only we could tell our story. Nobody else can. So we got to understand how important that is. So that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah. Okay. Do your brothers hear about the brother that I read about, Earl Lloyd?
What's his name? Underrated?
Earl Lloyd, the first black player played the NBA.
I heard the name. I thought that's what you said, but I don't know much about him. I was doing a study on him and Marlon Briscoe. I believe he played for the Denver Broncos. He was the first black quarterback. But I'm a start researching and studying these guys, man, who were trailblazers and pioneers. Go ahead, bro.
Well, this person was the first player playing the NBA. He came out of West Virginia. He was All-American. He helped his team to win 2 consecutive college titles. He was drafted round 9 in 1950, 100th pick. Then after that, he had a stellar career. And he was the first. He was the first one playing the game in NBA. And he had an all right career. He had an all right career. Let me see. And let me see. Let's see. Also, one of the few they come in the pack is Nat Sweetwater Clifton. It was Charles Henry Cooper. I think he was the first one. I think he was one of the first, but I don't think he played. I don't think. But Sweetwater, Clifton, and Earl Lloyd, they played and stuff like that. Oh, let me see. Hold on, let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Cooper was also the first African American to be drafted by the National Basketball Association as the first pick of the second round by the Boston Celtics. He was born in 1926, died in 1984. I played Westinghouse, Pittsburgh High School, College, West Virginia State. He played the same team Earl Lloyd did, but he played earlier, 1944, 1945, 1950. Oh, he was drafted also 1950 round two pick. He was a 14th pick overall. Selected by the Celtics. Playing career, he played 1950, 1956. Position, he played small forward, shooting forward. 1950, 1954, Boston Celtics. 1954 through 1956, Milwaukee, then St. Louis Hawks, and then after St. Louis Hawks, later on turned into Atlanta Hawks back in the early 70s. Need to throw that in. 1958, 1956, he played Fort Wayne Pistons, and a few years later, they became the Detroit Pistons.
Was he ever a Harlem Globetrotter, Sweetwater? That name sounds awfully familiar.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I thought so. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Sweetwater.
Yeah, so we talking about a few people, brothers that play in the NBA, but they not being talked about. Oh, I'm sorry. He played West Virginia State. I'm sorry, 1944, 1946. Then also he played Tuskegee, 1946 through 1950. I'm sorry, I missed that. And his points in career was 2,725, rebounds 2,431, assists 734. But he I think he played a short career. And all those times at that time, people, they had to work two jobs because there wasn't hardly no money was coming in. Like I say again, the NBA was established in 1946. Now there's another team that came out. There's another basketball team that I want to talk about. I believe they was the New York Reds. The New York Reds was winning black championships. They put in the application for the NBA, I believe, back in 1946, but they was denied. Let me say it again. I'm gonna pull it up. If any correction, I'll make sure I correct. New York Reds. Oh, I believe they play. Oh. They was a Renaissance team. They was a Renaissance team. You know, they played professional basketball. Was established in 1923. All right. You know, followed Bill Douglas. Everybody thought they come from New York, but they was around the time that the Harlem Globetrotters. The Harlem Globetrotters, they thought the Harlem Globetrotters was formed in New York, but they really was formed in Ohio. Okay, their locations was New York City, Dayton, Ohio. Like I said before, they was around the time they was Harlem Globetrotters came in existence. Okay, this is the team they won one world professional tournament. That's when they play against all professional teams. They took the title in 1939, but they also was winning black titles. They was winning black basketball titles. Midwest Basketball Conference, 1935-1937, World Professional Basketball. They had beat the best. Okay? Red Small Corn. So I want to pull some because a lot of people see this is history. I'm talking about people. This is history back then, like less almost 100 years. These are they not going to tell you. New York Reds were the first all-black, fully professional African-American owned basketball team formed in Harlem in 1922. Like I did say that. There was some people saying they was the greatest basketball team that you ever heard. Of their knowledge of the game and plus of their fundamentals. And at that time, there was some people saying that they was that they was very athletic, they was very smart. I was reading this. I forgot what paper it was. I was in New York, but there was actually people were saying that the NBA did not want to sign them because they would been an all black team, and they do not want they don't want the NBA to be stained because they could have been won championships. So, and also I'm going to go throw this out there before I continue because Nikki she was talking about hockey. Now, in hockey, now there's people have said that we created hockey, like the goaltender, the pull out, the goaltender, the power, it's golden and the things like this. It was talking about it started from Nova Scotia. And I heard that we created it. And there was actually what some people were saying that was some of us played in the early 1900s, but they don't want to talk about that. I remember ESPN did a story about that years ago. I think it's Black Knight, something like that. And I remember Samuel L. Jackson narrated. And then he asked this Canadian, he said, why they don't want to talk about it? He said they don't want you to know that. So they are actually us as a people actually played hockey even back then, and we was winning. I remember seeing it because it was like mind-boggling. We actually had black coaches even back in the 1920s and 30s, even 40s. They even showed them how to run like the fast break. We created that, but it was a science to that. If you think about Avery Johnson, I think the coach name was McClendon. He was voted Basketball Hall of Fame, not as a coach, but as a contributor. Now, as a contributor, to me, it's a slap in the face that actually let people know that we wasn't doing nothing. But McClendon was he was the first coach ever that created a fast break. And a fast break had numbers. And Avery Johnson played for, I think he played on that. It was Southern University. I want you to look it up. And he was showing how to run the pass rate, how to break press, how to break defenses. McClendon, first black coach. So I'm giving you jewels. You want to talk about golf? Let's talk about golf. In the HBO special of Joe Louis. Joe Louis was the first man that participated in the PGA Tour back in the late 40s, early 50s. Y'all can go and look it up. Don't believe me, look it up. I'm telling you. Give me a jewel. I'm giving you a jewel. She stays asleep. Then Curtis, and then my brother Sonny.
Well, that's interesting, man. I'm glad you brought that aspect of it up too. Just to expand on what we talking about. And this is basically like we're in history class. We're in sports history class. And I actually think that that should be if somebody didn't have an idea on what they should do if they like sports, I think we should have a whole channel that just deals with sports history.
Mm-hmm.
here on YouTube. Because that's basically what you have back in the day, how we had, I forgot the name of the channel, but it was a whole channel with just where they played old games, old basketball, old baseball games. Um they played old boxing matches. Um I think we should have that for YouTube too, where people just talk about the history of the games,
Mhm.
and talk about not just the historical games, but the history of the game. Who were the pillars of baseball when it first came out? Who were the pillars of basketball? Who were the pillars of football?
Mhm.
And give the real exact history. People that's actually gonna look things up and give you the real history. Not the watered down bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know.
Hmm. Yeah. And also, before I get hit Sunny, and also she stay asleep, and Kurt, Calvin Pete was the first black that ever played in the PGA championship. It got and then I mean it got so bad. This back in '75, they would not allow him in the country house to change. So he had to actually change his clothes outside underneath a tree.
Mm,
Calvin, 1975.
mm.
So when you
Really?
have people, so when people talk about, oh, I'm there, when you got other nationalities, oh, I deal with racism. Shut up. I'm not gonna curse. Shut up. What we have to go through, and then and I'm not gonna lie, when Tiger Woods was playing, he did acknowledge that too. Calvin P. PGA. He had a solid career. I really think in the condition he could have played more. But and I believe he won that tournament too, if I'm not mistaken. It's 75.
Mm.
Go ahead, son.
Indeed, indeed. I had a question in the chat. It says, it's from Nikki. It
Go ahead.
says, do you know any um, boxing clubs in 757? I know that there's a, if I can remember, in Virginia Beach, there is a boxing club. I don't forget where it is, but if you Google it, Virginia Beach, it should come up. They do kickboxing, boxing, and jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, MMA also, all in one. And then there's a spot in Newport News also, and one in Norfolk. But you had to just Google it and it should come up.
Okay.
But
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, son.
oh, you go ahead.
Now I want you to finish. I want your any of my doom shotters. I want you to go to my channel. I want you to pull up all my boxing, what I did, and I want y'all to post it. I want y'all to post it in the chat for me, please.
Indeed.
Can y'all do that? Matter of fact, Queen Who I Am and Nikki. I want y'all to, is it possible? I want you to go on Queen Who I Am, I want Nikki to help you. Wherever they there's a box, I want you to find it and post it in the chat for me, please. Thank you so much. You can go ahead, Sonny. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem, brother. Um, I agree with the my good brother She Stay Sleep TV. Like this is like sports history class. But the beautiful thing about it is we're learning about our people, and at the same time we can learn about our struggles. So like while I'm listening to each time I come in and we talk about, some of our ancestors and what they dealt with, sometimes I look at within myself and like, and it's good to do that because we complain so much about so many different things, and like we forget that the people before us has been through much more. You know what I mean? And if they can make it, you know what I mean? It's just a way for me to like motivate myself sometimes, because sometimes we all have certain issues in life, or something that we're trying to overcome, and it's always good to think back on the people before us. Just, what I mean, like the brother that JT brought up, and all the other ones that he is speaking about. You know what I mean? Because we complain so much, you know what I mean? But they endured getting denied from going into hotels. Had to change their clothes and places where they shouldn't have to change their clothes at. Being denied in restaurants, being spat on. You know, drinking from the dirty water fountain. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so many things that our people had to endure. But like, we complain so much about the small things, and we forget that, you know somebody before us has been through much more. And if they can do it, we can do it too. So this is what I'm getting out of, when we had these talks, and it's just good to learn. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Pass the mic on that one.
Okay, my brother Kurt, Sugar.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. I love this topic. I think of myself as intelligent, but just like the brothers on the panel are underrated and the people in the chat. But we have a long, glorious history, and there's no excuses. You can go to YouTube, and research all this stuff. So there ain't no excuse for me or anybody else. And I'm gonna take time out of my schedule to the first black basketball player, the invention of hockey, first black quarterback, or black quarterbacks in the past, like Joe Gilliam for my Steelers, and
Hmm.
Marlon Briscoe, and James Evans and Doug Williams. They were trailblazers, man. The 1966 Kentucky Wesleyan School, the small school that beat the all-white
That
Kentucky basketball. That was a
the
pivotal moment in
road.
sport. 1966. Remember that?
Yeah, Glory
And
Road. Exactly. That's
right,
the
right, right. Exactly. Glory Road. You're right, brother. And it's stuff that I don't even know about, and I should know it. I probably forgot about it, which is bad. But once I study it, it's gonna stick to my brain. And I'm gonna take time out to do that. Like I said, I'm very proud of my people, man, and people and people that was trailblazers and pioneers. Like non-sports people like Madam C.J. Walker. She was the first, I believe, woman millionaire, not black woman, but woman millionaire. She had a business back in the day. They supposed to be doing a movie on her. I think Octavia Spencer is supposed to play Madam C.J. Walker.
Okay.
I'm a music lover, and the talent of our people is just astronomical, man. It's just off the charts, and we do it like nobody else ever did it. And I take my hat off to black Southerners in America, because they're the strongest people. They held our race together. They the ones that was lynched and died in those rural, southern towns, Mississippi and Alabama. That's where everything kicked off. In Tennessee, we was always getting abused. And to not be in hotels, they had to travel miles and miles just to get something to eat. Just think of the psychological BS they had to go through, man. Can you imagine you being in them times, man? it would be race war because our minds is totally different. You know, getting abused. You know, Tony Garagiola, he was a baseball announcer. I remember he brought a black cat on a baseball field when Jackie Robinson came to bat. Even some of his teammates, you know, used to turn their back on him. He's the, you know, they used to slide in the second base. He was the second baseman, and they used to spike him on purpose, his shin and his ankles and his feet and everything. You know, that's why he died at the age of 53, you know, because of the stress. You know, you had people like not Jackie Robinson, but Jack Johnson. You know, you had black fighters, Tom Mullino and Bill Richmond. They were bare
Yeah.
knuckle style way before John L. Sullivan, you know,
Let me
from
stop
Virginia.
right there, Kurt. I
Yeah.
want you to tell the people before I continue. I want you to tell the people because I know about those fights too. Tell the people what's the significance that they play a big role in boxing, and tell them why it's not being mentioned, please. Because I know about that, and I think we're gonna do a show about that too. Tell the people, please,
What was the last part now? Tell them what?
about the fighters that you tell them in the past. And
Oh, man.
the significance they play in boxing right now, and plus why it's not being mentioned.
Oh, man. Whew, man. It's so much me being a boxing historian, but this goes back to Peter Jackson, Tom Mullino, Bill Richmond, Joe Gans, you know, the original Black Murderers Row. And you got to remember something. Jack Johnson was a great fighter, but he wasn't the best heavyweight out the bunch. You had people like Sam Langford
Yeah.
and Harry Wells. Jack
Yep.
Dempsey ain't want to fight Harry Wells.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Jeanette, Sam McVeigh. You know, those are Black Murderers Row. They fought each other a lot of times. Jack Johnson was beaten by these fighters. I mean, he won too, but they were beating each other.
Yeah.
So they was, you know, Jack Johnson just got the chance when Tommy Burns in 1908 gave him the chance to fight for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you had a second Murderers Row, you know, with Charlie Burley. If you've seen Roy Jones fight, this dude fight just like Roy Jones.
Yeah.
You know, he was that good. No, that great. Well, people said my favorite fighter, Dr. Sugar Ray Robinson. And you had Holman Williams, you had Coco Kid Lewis, you know, Tiger Wade, you know, Burt Lytell.
Right.
You know, you had like 8 or 9 of them. And white fighters, they ain't want to fight them. Jake LaMotta ain't want no smoke. Tony Zell ain't want no smoke. Rocky Graziano didn't want no smoke. You know, so those fighters in the old days, you know, they never got a chance to, because I cannot sit down and be happy about somebody like Jack Dempsey, who was openly racist, who never fought a black fighter. John L. Sullivan refused to fight black fighters. When Jack Johnson fought Jim Jeffries, you know, that's where the moniker came from, Great White Hope. It was a sports writer named Jack London coined the phrase Great White Hope. And that was on July 4th, 1910, I believe. Yes, yeah. And people used to be in a ring apron yelling insults at Jack Johnson, and he blocked them out. He used to tell other heavyweight champions that you can get some of this too. Jack was a bad dude, bruh.
Yeah, he was.
Jack was a bad dude. Jack Johnson used to talk ish to John L. Sullivan, all of them. They was giving pointers to Jim Jeffries, saying how to beat Jack Johnson. You know, but Jack Johnson knocked him out. You know, and those old fighters, man, you know, just like any black athlete had to go through all those trials and tribulation. You know, so, you know, I studied that part of our people, the boxing, but I have to go to football, and I love football like boxing, and I had to go to baseball. I had to go, you know, not only sports, but music. Scott Joplin was a black man who played the hell out of piano back in the day. There was a movie about him. Billy D. Williams played Scott Joplin. You know, see, stuff like that, man. We have a very, very rich history. that has to be studied. On that note, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. Before you pass the mic, I need I see one. I need two more. I need two more videos from boxing to put in the chat, please. I need two more. And it could be any of my doom shots. That'd be greatly appreciated. Two more to put in the chat. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. She stay asleep.
I mean, I don't know how to, you know, come behind that, man. I'm just listening and learning.
Okay. All right,
You
cool.
know, I'm just listening and learning, man. I love when Kurt get up here, man, because he's a historian, man, with sports. He could name so many people, man, and he could. I bet if we just, just sat down in person and just listen, man, we will talk for hours, man,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like so much. He knows so much sports history, man, and that's great. I love that, man. So I'm just listening and learning, man.
That's
I
cool.
appreciate the accolades, Sheep. I really do, bro. I learn from y'all too. We get up here, man, and I never thought I'd see the day where I just do this in the barbershops, the black barbershops. But now I can sit home in my living room, man, listen to intelligent brothers, and we can build and have conversation like these, man. I gotta do more research, on our own people, man. Like I said, man. I just love the fact that we're so resilient. And we still go through stuff 2018. They trying everything to get rid of us, but we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. I was just reading outside of Chicago that a brother, a security guard, he got shot by police because as soon as they looked at him, they thought he was a criminal. They shot him. Everybody screaming, "No, he's one of us." The brother wanted to be a cop. See, stuff like that makes me mad. It really does, man. And how much ish we gotta take, and just like that brother in Dallas that shot them 5 police officers, I'm surprised that don't happen more often. And like I said, they changed the game, they changed the rules as we go along. Black Panthers who came out of Oakland, California, we was carrying shotguns, scared a lot of white people, scared America. So what did they do? Ronald Reagan, who was governor at that time, said citizens could no longer bear arms because they want to see the disenfranchised stay disenfranchised. They don't want to see us become a franchised people because we become a dangerous people. So they're going to change the laws and rules as they go along and as we build momentum. But this is where, psychologically, that's what I'm worried about my people, because when we coon and cape for other races and we go out that way to bring the immigrants and all that and, crying, "Oh, Lord, oh, please, 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 Master," as Tariq Nasheed say, "butter biscuits," that bothers me because how about your own people? See, that's purely psychological. I read books with Richard Wright and Francis Cress Welsing. I have a duty, to people who came before me. I have a 14-year-old son, and I tell him every day, you are a natural enemy of your city, of your state, the county, and the country, because you're a black man. You're feared from the sexual prowess, your athletic prowess, to everything. They fear you. So it's their job. They have a built-in desire to get rid of you. This genocide thing is very, very, very serious. So I just want my people to pull back from everybody and stay amongst their own. It's going to be a while before that happens because we're programmed to depend on other people. That would make you a pacifist. You got Christianity controls you. Jesus white and all that. And just like that white girl said on CNN, where she just came out and said Santa Claus and Jesus is white. Santa Claus wasn't real. You can keep him, but Jesus wasn't white. You can keep Santa Claus. You know, I don't care. You know. So we in a war. We in a war. We in a war right now, and it's survival. But you know, like I said, we're very resilient people, and we will find a way to survive. You know, I'm all over the place, but when I look on TV, and I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Me and my wife, we travel a lot. I was in the airport. My wife was charging her phone, and I'm sitting behind this white dude. And you know, the beginning of an NFL game, how they show the players and what college they from, and they say their name. I will never forget the look he had on his face when the whole Atlanta Falcons defense was black, and he had this look on his face, and the look was like, "Why are these niggas so dominant?" Basically. And I was looking at him. I was like 2 rows back, but I was looking at him, and he just had a look. He had a frozen look on his face, you know. And as a kid, I remember watching the movie Mandingo, starring Ken Norton, former heavyweight champion, you know. And see, that's when the sexual prowess came in. And see, when we was lynched as a people, they castrated us. They castrated us. Black man penis was like the golden scepter. That's some serious ish. I'll tell you not. And R.C. Davis in the movie with Spike Lee, you know, he didn't want to eat with her because he told that story about she one of those big black bucks. So you're a natural enemy, but it's our job to study our history and the people that's forgotten, that was trailblazers and pioneers who had to put up with all that, you know, garbage. You know, so on that note, I'll pass the mic.
Oh yeah, and then also that means she said they did a story about the first black female coach is C. Vivian Stringer. She started Shady State in '72. Now I want people to understand this because they always think this happened to men. It also happened to our black women. It was women at that time did not acknowledge our women that could coach. And what happened was she was assistant coach of Shady State in '72. Then she ended up being a head coach. Do you know she's the first woman ever to take three or four teams to the NCAA tournament? Now she's the coach of Rutgers. She's one of the few women that won over 1,000 games. Now, when I read the story about it, it was like a few years prior to that. So they ain't but so much how much win she got right now. I know that at that time she was like in the top 5, so she had to be like in the top 2 all time winning women's coach. She even have alumni named after the Nike name alumni after her. C. Vivian Stringer. She is a Jew. Nobody don't talk about her. Nobody. I've been knowing her for a long time. Cause the people that I read about, and we talk about. I actually did book reports of our brothers and sisters. So and also she was named the Woman Hall of Fame and the prestigious Naismith Hall of Fame. Also, she had numbers of college coach of the year. She also helped women. She also helped women basketball team for almost 50 years. If you ask me, she one of the pillars of women's sports, take it to the next level.
Absolutely. I know her very well, man, being from Jersey and living in Jersey. And Vivian Stringer, a trailblazer. Althea Gibson is a trailblazer.
Yeah,
Wilma Rudolph is a trailblazer.
She says he threw her too. It's on there. She said about her too.
I'm studying all this, man. I'm making my duty to study all these. My mother, rest her soul, she used to talk about Althea Gibson and Wilma Rudolph all the time, you know. And Wilma Rudolph, you know, couldn't even walk. She was in braces, I believe. And she became world champion. Don't forget Jesse Owens.
That's
All
your.
those our people are great, man. You know, our people are great.
Mhm.
You know, it was this businessman, black. I think his name is AJ Gaston or CJ Gaston. Look
Oh,
him up,
yeah,
AJ
I can tell
Gaston.
you, AJ Gaston. I know about AJ Gaston. AJ
Okay.
Gaston, one of the black millionaires back in the 30s and the 40s. Do you know that he sat on seven? Do you know that he sat on seven different presidents as advisory board? He was the top advisory board of seven presidents.
Hmm.
When he passed away in '96, he worth like like almost $1 billion. Also, he's one of the few ones that the civil rights movement. He created a hotel, so because they wasn't accepting blacks in a hotel. He built a hotel just for them, so to say they could stay. So here this person, AJ Gaston, he one of the few blacks that helped policy for us as a people on the down low, and we don't talk about him. AJ Gasson played a big role. He was selling burial plots, and that's how he was making his money back in Alabama. And then
Yep.
what happened was he started dealing with the funeral business, and that's when he started making his money. But what happened was then he started getting into politics, and then he started then that's when he know his dollars back then was really was important, and that's when he's one of the few that started the civil rights movement. I'm talking about in the 40s, and one really built back in the 60s. So he was in the two different type of eras of the civil rights movements back then. AJ Gaston, he one of the richest person in the world.
Yeah, yep. And we got a guy now and people don't know about Robert F. Smith. He from Denver. His business is in Kansas City. He's a multi-billionaire. He has more money than Oprah, but he stays quiet. You know, and you know, he doesn't bring attention to himself. You know, very smart brother. You got Robert Johnson, who's the own BT. His wife, well, ex-wife Sheila Johnson, because when she got half his money, she didn't sit on his money. She started opening up hotels and resorts. So now she got money too, you know. And I was just thinking as I was talking, when the black baseball players they had a black baseball teams, well, yeah, when they had the teams in the South, they call it Chitlin Circuit, they had a directory. When they went to a certain town or state, they didn't even know these people. They used to go to regular people homes and the people used to cook for them and they used to stay in the barn, or if the house was big enough they stayed in the same house and went to sleep and went to the next city to play a game because they couldn't go to the hotels or restaurant. So that's how we stuck together. There was a directory. If I was in Mississippi and I was going to Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky and other places, you know, I will call or have an address, just knock on a random door, and people that look like you be like, "Come on in, sheep stay. Come on in, Sonny. Come on in, underrated darkness. I got some good food, good eating for you." And you know, I made your rooms up. That's how I was, cause we ain't had no choice. That's how I was. See, we wasn't soft like we was today. You know, those were men. You know, those were people we stuck together. You
Mhm.
know, I thought that was very significant.
Yeah, yeah, it was. And yeah, all right, I like that. Sonny Boston talk.
Man, oh man, it's hard to go behind Kurt. Kurt heavyweight, heavy mental. But yeah, man, I'm just sitting back listening, man. I'm actually listening and learning. Um, you know, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? Because you know, some people be busy. Sometimes you might not be able to look at some of the history because you know we're dealing with so many other things. But like this is a good opportunity, a learning session for those people who who can't. We get a chance to have a glimpse back in time. You know what I mean? Like stepping in a time machine and going back. You know what I mean? Because by us telling the story, it's like we can see it. We can. You know what I mean? It's almost like we watching it on TV. You know what I mean? So only thing I'm gleaming is like I'm thinking about some of our athletes today and how they complain so much. You know what I mean? And if they can be transported back in time where our people had to struggle just to play on the same field as you, how would they handle those situations? Would they handle it the same way? You know what I mean? Or would they fold? You know what I mean? I think we need to kind of get back to that particular way of thinking. You know what I mean? Because those people were getting things done. You know what I mean? Regardless of being spat upon. You know what I mean? Regardless of being called names, having stuff thrown at you, they were getting some things done. They were pioneers. Like we're able to enjoy a lot of the sports that we enjoy to watch because of them today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everything from baseball to basketball to hockey. Well, not so much how we don't really watch hockey. I mean boxing. You know, so many great souls that has left a huge footprint. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I can, I'm just, gleaming on, and I pass the mic with that.
And before I continue, me and Kirk did 2 collabs on here, and I think Sonny, you was on one of them, right?
Pardon, said it again.
Was you was on one of the collabs that me and Sugar was doing?
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah. And
Honest to Kurt Suckers and his, his knowledge. You too, JT. Y'all knowledge of the history. You know what I mean? Giving us an opportunity to uh, uh, take a pause throughout the day and glean back. It's honor to you, brothers, for that.
but
Thank
I'm
you for the accolades, brother.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
thank you so much. And then I want to say this to everybody in the chat. The one who really pushed me at first, besides She Stay Sleep About historical, is Sonny Boxing Talk. He the one like we were talking boxing one day, and he said, brother, why are you not talking, man? He trying to hit me, and he said, yo, just let me know. And then the other one, Malik Omar, and then later on, Kurt, my brother Sugar. So like Sonny said, you got to once you use it. Well, why are you not saying nothing? Sonny was actually got on me and like that, in a loving way, and I had to think about it like, yeah, I could bring something to the table. You know what I mean? And and that's what I want to do is so um but to get back to this our queen C Stringer, and I want the sisters to understand this. The other women of nationality back then, they didn't consider her as a coach. You know, they didn't. And and I could tell you that what's so sad about it that until this day, she still don't get the credit that she deserves. She don't, and I'm talking about other women. She don't. Brother Rob, watch out for your link. I'm gonna send you a link so you can join this. And It just for me it's so women. I urge our women, especially in our community, do your diligence, do your investigation of these women that are trailblazers in our community. Not just trailblazers in women's rights, but 12 trailblazers in our community. They have set the tone. Let me see. Oh man, they do respect man coaches. Back then they didn't. I can't even say us black men back then either because we didn't because it wasn't that many black men was coaching back then too. Matter of fact, it really wasn't. You know, Queen, who I am. You know, I can't say no that but even the women was coming up. It was only like it was not many man coaches, but they was very supportive in our community. You know, so we have to think about the social times too, because sometimes we tend to forget about the social times of what's going on. And we have to understand the conditions back then too. That's why sometimes we get so caught up. Brother Rob, see the link right now. Watch out for it. Sometimes we get so caught up, but we have to think of the social times that you know, we was in the same boat. The black man and the black woman was in the same boat. You know, even like you got black boxers even back then was winning. You got Sandy Sadler. You got Joe Louis. You got Ezra Charles. You got Henry Armstrong. You got yeah, the rest of them. Most of these fights, they can't really enjoy boxing, but back then because they had to fight against racism, and at that time they had to fight because there wasn't hardly no money back then. It was white. It was white. They was making a little more than them, but they wasn't getting prestige. But our fighters was not getting prestige back then.
Yeah, they had to wait to get title shots. Archie Moore had to wait.
Had to wait over 20 years. Archie
yeah,
Moore,
Jersey Joe Walcott, you know, right. Black Murderers Row had to fight each other 63 times because they couldn't get title shots. Lloyd Marshall and Holman Williams, man. Lloyd Marshall was a great middleweight, man. Oakland Billy Smith, he wasn't in the Black Murderers Row, but he was a really good fighter, man. They didn't want no smoke with them black fighters, man. No siree.
Right, and right. You look at Joseph Sandy Sadler. Now people say, why are you talking about Joseph Sandy Sadler? Joseph Sandy Sadler, I forgot. I mean, he had an excellent record, but you know, he had 103 knockouts in 12 years. He retired because of eye injury. Then you got the great one. The Monsoos, he had 144 knockouts. Then you got the Sugar, Ray Robinson, he had over 100. Then you got Harry Armstrong, over 100. But they was not put up there in the pedestal like them other whites was. And I'm talking about these contenders. These are the brothers they had to travel all around the world to fight because in this country they was not getting no fight. And they was knocking people out. There was more love outside the United States at that time than even in this country.
Let me tell you something about Sugar Ray Robinson. He was 85-0 as an amateur with 65 knockouts, 40 in the first round with no headgear. He went undefeated. In the pros, at the height of his career, he was 132 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. You know, so that right there, that record is crazy. So you mean to tell me he lost 1 fight, and I was an amateur and pro, he lost 1 fight in maybe 200. That's crazy. That's just bananas. And the moniker pound for pound was because of him. You know. But boxing is a compelling sport, so I always pay close attention to it. I love football, baseball, and basketball. I give homage to those who, was pioneers, but boxing, I just got a certain love, a certain passion for it, man. I remember Archie Moore said he got into boxing, he was walking past an alleyway and he saw two dudes fighting in the alleyway. And he said he just stopped and looked. He didn't break it up. He said, "Man, that's beautiful."
Yeah.
He said, "That's beautiful." And then that what made him go into boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at other sports, they always have a boxing terminology.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't like it was how boxing is not a first tier sport, sadly, because you need a superstar like a Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard or Sugar Ray Robinson to carry the sport, Mike Tyson, what have you. We have good fighters, but we don't have a fighter that can capture the public's imagination. But I mean, I just love the sport, man. So, I like to watch the old fighters. If you want, you can look at YouTube and see they got so much stuff, man, which is good. But like Archie Moore, man, Archie Moore was like knocking everybody out, 144 knockouts. And he started late. He got his championship late. I believe it was 37. But,
Yeah, he was 30. Right, and then go more. I mean, cut you and go more to the point.
No, go ahead.
And understand this family, and then we go. We ain't talking about Leela Ali that helped revolution. I mean, we can talk about the other sister, but understand this. He was winning for the 30s and 40s. He had to wait almost 20 years to get a title shot. It was not guaranteed. But when he had the light heavyweight, he's one of the few brothers that hold the light heavyweight title of that time. They did not have undisputed. If you win the one belt takes all.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand that too. So you got to understand that the importance of it. And then we got to talk about Ann Wolf. Ann Wolf was one of the few sisters that helped that take women's boxing to another level. But we don't talk about her. But we don't even talk about Leela Ali. But see, these are the people that are trailblazers. We talk about us as a people. We are we the most creative people on this earth. And I'm saying that sisters, that and even brothers, let's get together sometimes and with our kids, sit at the table and go over this history, because they're not learning this. They're not learning this in the schools. They're not even learning this in college. How I learned all this about that because I learned it when I was younger. And I had a great appreciation of our people. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of our sisters had done a lot in our community, but they always want to put it off. Okay, hold on, Cal. I'm going to do it again because I sent it out. But see, at the same time, and I'm telling the sisters now, they're going to put it out there, oh, they're for women's rights. Get out of here. They it's not that for our community too. And so some of your sisters, you got to talk that to existence. Don't let them trick you that way. Because once upon a time, it was women and other nationalities did not want y'all to, so I'm talking about sports, they did not want y'all to succeed. Anybody could say anything. Anybody could go ahead. I mean, let me go send this up.
Hey, Underrated, I got a little emergency going on with my son, man.
Okay.
I'm a call back or whatever.
Okay.
I might get it back on, man. He acting up, man. Listen, sheep stay sleep sunny, man. Underrated, man. It's a pleasure talking to y'all brothers, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, bro. Go ahead and do your business, man.
That's
Yes, sir.
Likewise, family.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Peace, brothers.
Yeah,
Peace.
and then if we off when you get back, hit me up on the horn. Oh, he's out with this. So. Yeah, so brother Rob, trying to get you on and Cat, but any of your brothers could talk, man. While I get these links out.
I got a question for you, JT.
I know that I
Uh,
felt that was coming. I felt that.
do you
God,
think that there's kind of a black murderer's role now in boxing? I mean, not like it was back then, but something close to it.
that's a good question. Well, it can be, and I say in politics. The way it is right now. If you listen to Triple G and Lomo and all of them and all that, I'm saying Lomo, I feel like this, you want to bite the best, but once you fight Tank on, nah, he's bad. That's a bad example because his head ain't all about that. But yeah, it can, yeah, it could, yeah. I don't think it could be that severe, but do I think it could get that way? Yeah, if we don't talk as what's going on, yes.
Indeed. Yeah, because I was thinking about the Charlo brothers.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact,
Uh,
go tell the people about the Chala Brothers and the other people about why I get these links up because maybe somebody in the link maybe they might not getting it and stuff like that. So explain them why it's connected, please.
well, to me, it seems like um, when I look at the history of the Black Murderers Row, it reminds me a little bit of what the Charlo brothers are going through, and they're trying their hardest to get a title shot. You got other boxers like Canelo, Triple G, who are basically ducking the Charlo brothers, like one of the Charlos.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them trying to get certain fights, but they're not able to get any title shots. And
Mm-hmm.
it seems like the problem that's happening is with some of these other people or other nationalities, when they get a belt, they try to run and hide, like as if they don't want to give, um, you know, they don't want us to have a belt. That's what it seems like to me, because it seems like they know if we get a belt, it's going to be years upon years upon years before they get it back. Like when Mike Tyson was champion, you know, it took them a long time for them to get another heavyweight champion again.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's not as severe, but it kind of reminds me of a minor black murderer's row. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass the mic on that.
Okay. What
What's
up,
going
Cat?
on, Cap?
Hey, family. Hey, man. I was trying to get you soon enough because I'm getting ready to go to the airport.
Oh,
So I really don't. I can't. I don't have time, brother, right now. But I just had to answer, let you know that. Otherwise, I would have speak my mind. But I agree with a whole lot of the brothers, man. We all on the same track. So the next time I'll email you, man, because that's the only way to where the link will work. Brother Rob, what's going on, brother? All the
yes.
panel, chat room. Yeah. So I'm gonna pass the mic, brother. Thank you for
Okay.
giving me the opportunity to express myself. I'll catch you on the next time.
All right.
Salute to everybody.
All right. Be safe. Let us know how you made it all right, Cat.
Salute,
Yes,
Cap.
sir.
All right. So see
Salute,
you.
brothers.
All right. All right. Welcome, brother Rob.
Man, welcome, good brother. Man, thank you for thinking about me and having me on tonight, man. Peace to the brethren that's already on. DS1 and Sunny, and peace to you, JT, man. Still going strong, man. I was right before I hopped on, I was hollering at my oldest son, and I was just telling him that I remember when you started. Now look at you now. You know what I'm saying, in terms of your subscribership, and you right away from the super chat. You know what I mean? Couple of more subscribers, and you right there, G. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Dealing with the topic tonight, you know. Man, I don't know how else to say it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just come right at it, you know what I mean? And my observation of this thing, you know, us as black folks, we don't run boxing. And so this is what produces a murderer's row, you know, and that's why we talking about it tonight. So you know, we sitting on the solution. What's the solution? You know what I'm saying? That somehow, some way, we motivate the current boxer promoters to see things our way. Or, you know what I'm saying? We got to play hardball. The problem is though, with playing hardball, we seem to not understand that even if we not playing on the same team, we are on the same team, irregardless to how you might feel that you're not linked up with your brother. Man, they still gonna front on you. You know what I'm saying? Just like they'll front on your brother. Just because you got in good with, you know, Burt Sugar or somebody, you know, somebody that can get you a fight, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean that you take the fight and you know what I'm saying? We gotta stick together. And once we do that, I mean, you know, all of the sports will be to subject to our approval. You know, let's look at the NBA. 90% of the players are black. Let's look at the NFL. I would say 70% of the players are black. At one time, we was running baseball. I say 60%, almost maybe 50-50, you know, of the players were black. But now, you know, baseball not cool in the hood. So that's why a lot of guys don't go out for baseball, you know. But still in all, if we decided to start playing it again, do you see my point? We the majority of the players, we the majority of the participants, but we not the majority of the owners. We not the majority of the venue owners. You know, you could be the owner of the team, but man, I at least gotta own the venue, cuz. You know what I'm saying? If not the venue, I gotta own the parking structure around the venue. God damn. You know what I'm saying? You can't have all of it, but that's what's going on. What's going on is they own all of it, and then when you demand a piece of the pie, then a motherfucker go up and move the team to the suburb, you know, or to a whole nother city, you know. So like, man, we just got to start thinking macro, you know, instead of micro. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we got to get our micro and our macro economics. We got to get them together. I'm throwing big ass terms. Basically, this is what I'm saying, right? Right? We got to own some shit before we can start complaining. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that complaining. Hey, and let's just put a plan together to own some shit. You know what I'm saying? At least on the gym that we train in, on the gloves that we hitting motherfuckers with. We gotta own some shit, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my take on it, bro.
Okay. Anybody can follow that up?
I agree. I agree
Mhm.
because and I think it should start with the guys who played in these sports and who became multimillionaires. I think it starts with them. They should be the examples or the representatives or actually the guys who's willing to help the people get their things not just funded but represented. just like they advertise for all these other companies. If let's say if us brothers on right on this panel was to come up with some new innovative type of boxing gloves, we should be able to get Floyd Mayweather to advertise these gloves. We should be able to get these top black boxers to do that. Just like the top rappers advertise Beats headphones. You know, because at the end of the day, we should have black representation standing behind our product, because they stand behind all of these they stand behind the products that these white institutions create to sell to us. Everybody in the hood walking around with $300 headphones on, but don't got $300 in their pocket. That's a problem. So they should be able, you know, they should be willing to stand behind our inventions. We shouldn't have a problem if we create something for our people. We have plenty of black millionaires that should be able to stand behind it and represent it the right way. Even if they don't fund it, we can totally fund it from a grassroots level, but we should be able to pitch it to them and they should be able to stand behind it. Because there's too many of them standing behind Beats headphones. They drinking Monster energy drinks and getting all these checks. They should be able to do the same thing for us, you know? So I think it should start with them. They should be able to advertise our stuff. Even if they don't create the things, we should be the creators and they should be the advertisers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Sonny, you can go ahead.
Indeed, man. Just I guess the chime in on both of those. I agree. Um, you know, I guess we have a lot of say so as far as sports is concerned because we're paying our money to watch it. If it's we can either create our own or we can hold out and go on strike. And try to voice our opinion on what we want. You know, um, there's different ways to go about it. We talk about boxing, for example. We support boxing. Like we watch our favorite fighters, and right now we're not actually getting a lot of the fights that we want to see.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But we do have the power to create a big dent in their pocket by saying, "Look, we're not gonna watch you. We're not gonna watch you if you're not gonna give us what we want. Like we're paying for a service. We want to see the best fight the best. But the
Mhm.
hard thing about that is everybody coming together to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the hardest thing. Like to convince everybody to be like, "Yo, this is what we're gonna do," and then everybody do it. You know. That's one of the reasons why I do like the LDBC because there's just so many people that watch boxing and like as soon as the brothers say like we should do this, they got a lot of people that sub to them that agree. So it's very very important in everything to link up with like-minded people, to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. I'll pass the mic on that.
Well, I could say this that I enjoy. Oh, Afrocentric, thanks for coming. She came to drop like 222. Okay, let's get them likes and the views up and stuff like that. This is a good I could say this that and I ain't mean to brag. I think when me she Stacy talk about this and we was talking to a big brother, just let's push it. And I don't want to just what me and him see um We want to talk about all types of different types of sports. We want to talk about the times that goes with it, you know. And I appreciate what she Stacy was really pushing me. You know, he said, "Big bro, you know, come with it." You know what I mean? You know. And at that time, I was very receptive because I feel that I'm not talking about, you know, my family that's on YouTube doing social media. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about people outside. I feel they was ready, and so but I find myself involved in it again. It's like I'm a little kid. I'm pulling these people up that impact my life one way or the other. The black man and the black woman, and I know that we like over here, over there, but each person had to play a significant role in our in our in our in our history, and we have to understand that it's got to be up to us to really push the envelope. We got to push it. We got to let our kids know because they don't know about things like that. You know, the ones who come here, hit the like, hit the button, hit the like button, please. Muhammad is the one. I salute you. Thanks for coming. And so we just gotta keep on pushing. So if you know anybody want to know sports, they want to know anything, tell them to come here. We're gonna have panel discussion. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna keep on pushing this, and it's very important for me, even Chief Stay Sleep, to just go. And even at times Sunday boxing talk that he be, I consider him. We consider him like one of the co um hosts too. And while some people had left, we kept on going because I feel we got something special that is building, and we ain't scratched the surface yet. So I want to thank everybody. Let's get them lights up for me. One who came in. Let's get them lights up for me. Let's get them lights up. Let's share this. Let's share this. All right, share this. And I want to thank everybody who was in the chat before, even right now, that stayed with us. I mean, it's very much appreciated. Um, I want to thank my dude shots that pull up the links. Please, family, go to the links and watch out and look at those. Let's get them likes and the views up for the channel, and even support support Brother Raj's channel. She Stays Sleep, and also Sunny Boxing Talk channel, and also support each other. So we're going to start from Rob. Sunny Boxing Talk, She Stays Sleep. Your last remarks, please.
Yeah, one more time. I know I had came late or whatever, but thanks for having me. You know, in closing, I say I don't have anything in particular against anybody else. You know what I'm saying? But my energy and my concern is always gonna be for us first. You know, because we are the most disenfranchised. We have the least amount of social mobility. You know, these are facts. And so you know, every time or most of the time, um, that's where my mind is. You know what I'm saying? Uh uh you know what I'm saying? Sports is one thing, you know what I mean? But like, think about it like this. What if every, what if every black kid in the urban area, all of the top black basketball players, you know, graduating class of 2019, all decided, hey, we not going to Villanova, we ain't going to Duke, we ain't going to Georgetown, we going to all HBCUs. All HBCUs would do was get money because they gonna end up being on ESPN. All we have to do is demand it one time. and they gonna have to be in. We just need cultural identity. You know what I'm saying? And then we take that cultural identity and apply it to sports and embrace our dominance. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we shame our we have to kind of lower ourselves to try to be equal. You know what I'm saying? I say we stand in our glory, man. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I apologize if I hit people over the head with it. You know what I'm saying? But man, I love our people and the potential. It's always bubbling. It's always at the forefront of my mind. So, with that, man, I appreciate you, good brother, and peace to everybody on the panel and peace to the chat.
I appreciate I appreciate the educator in our community. Thanks for keep on educating us. Thanks to keep on loving us. I appreciate you, brother. I really do. Thank you so much for the growth of of me too. Thanks for being very supportive. Even sometimes I don't even get it right, brother Rob. But you stay right there and keep on encouraging me. You know, and hopefully we can see like this of this turnout too. You know, and thank you so much again, brother Rob. Sunny Boxing Talk.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, I would like to this is final remarks, right?
Hmm.
This is the final remarks, right?
Yes.
Okay, right, right. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to the chat. There was some great conversations going on in the chat. Um, thank you, brother JT, for having this great show. Honors to you for that. It's a great show, man. Great show. Um, everybody that came on the panel today. We had Kurt Sugar. We had we got She Stay Sleep TV. We got Brother Rob. Uh, today was a great show, man. I think it's a lot of. I'm sitting here thinking, yo, like it's so much. It's a lot of opportunities actually for this particular stream. Um, just the way I look at it when we talk about a lot of our old heroes. I think about their struggles. You know what I'm saying. Some of these lessons could be a great teaching lesson for our children that like to complain a lot. We can sit them down and be like, listen to this, listen to what some of our ancestors had to go through. You know what I mean? Why are you complaining about this? And drive home the truth that sometimes we complain so much, but our problem is really not that bad. Somebody's always had it. Not somewhere on this planet or somewhere in the past, someone's always had it worse than what we had. But they had to make do with what they had. They had to play the cards that they were dealt with. And sometimes it kind of takes that, because a lot of the people that you bring up, Brother JT, they went through so much, but they accomplished so much for our people by what they did. And that should be saluted. We should really be teaching our children these lessons. I think that a stream like this, some of these kids need to hear it, yo. Some of these kids need to hear it because they love sports. They love, our children. They love basketball. They love football. But they don't know much about history. You know what I mean? It's up to us to teach them the history, but also let them know what our people went through, so it'll make them drive harder. That if they're going through something in their life, they can look back on, well, if so and so did it, I can do it too. You know what I mean? So like they just accomplished so much. The guy we was talking about today. The first Asiatic baseball player who started the trend.
No, first player.
First player, baseball.
Okay, yeah.
Went through so much. So like for me personally, I got something out the stream today. Um, you know, it makes me look at myself, and like sometimes if you're ever in a place when you're going through something in your life, right? It's good to slow down and think, because sometimes you can be so what's the word I'm looking for? I can't find a word I'm looking for, but like someone else has had it harder than you. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make no sense to complain. Just work to get yourself out of the condition. And this lesson converts to all aspects of life, everything that we're trying to accomplish. You know, he wanted to play baseball. He wanted his son to play baseball. He wanted our people to play baseball. And now look, what I'm saying? We playing baseball. But it took a sacrifice like that. You know what I mean? We need to get back to that mentality. You know what I mean? This stream, it transcends sports. Like it equates to life to me. So I hope that everybody else that's listening in the chat can kind of glean some of the same things I glean. With that, I pass the mic. Peace.
Thank you. Stay right there. Stay right there. Thank you, mom. She stay asleep.
Well, first, I want to say thanks to the brothers that joined the panel tonight. Much love to y'all. Thanks for the support. Shout out to everybody in the chat who's tuned in, who stayed tuned in, and I thank y'all for the continuous support. Uh, I definitely want to give a special shout out to the ladies who continue to support the sports show, because a lot of times, a lot of women just deem this sports thing as, oh, that's a man thing, and they pretty much stay away from us when we talking and dealing in sports. So I definitely want to give a special shout out to y'all ladies who continue to support this sports stream, because that's something that's not openly expressed, even like outside of YouTube. Like, I haven't met a lot of women that will actually get down with the guys and have these sports conversations and be interested. So I thank y'all. And like Sonny said, man, this was a great show. Um these types of shows are always special, like I told you before, JT, because it
Mhm.
highlights our rich history. So I appreciate that, man, and much love to everybody, and peace.
Thank you. Stay right there. I'm just gonna say a few things and leave like this. I like, me and she stay sleep. Sonny Bossa and Rob. We like crowds like this. This is one of the biggest crowd that ever been ever since we started this months ago. And let's keep this going. You know what I mean? Let's keep this going. Because we're gonna have some special next Sunday. Let's keep this momentum going. Let's understand this is our history. We could talk about that. Let's have fun. Because sometimes, I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. So you can look it up. Have fun. Let's have fun. And this, I'm not saying the other sports shows was great, because it was great. Don't get me wrong, it is. But oh, we did talk about hockey queen, who I am. We did. We talked about hockey a little bit. We did. And let's engage. You know, mark that. We do this every Monday. 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Let's build this. You know what I mean? Let's build it. And sisters, you know, in the near future, you can get on the panel too. You know? Let's do this. I had a great time tonight. So, thanks for everybody. I am, you don't know how gratifying I see this. Thank you so much. Let's get it in. Like Queen who I am said, yeah. All right, JT, let's get it in. Let's go. Let's make this bigger. You know? You know? I appreciate that, Mom, who I appreciate that. You keep it up. I appreciate you. And we're going to talk about on boxing a little more, too. I appreciate everybody, even on the panel. I appreciate the sugar. I appreciate Brother Rob. I appreciate She Stay Sleep. I appreciate Sunny Boxing Talk. I appreciate your brothers tonight. I really do. I really do. So next week it's gonna be something good. And I expect gonna be you know what I mean, She Stays gonna expect more people get on the panel. Let's talk. Let's go. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. So on that note, it's nice for y'all to come out.
You better sing it.
Yeah, I'm singing.
You better sing it. You better sing it.
Yeah, I'm going to sing this. I'm going to sing tonight. I appreciate y'all as a family. I really do. Let's take care of each other. But I got to get out of here. Go, ghost.